Welcome to the Time to Get Zero podcast, where the facts are worse than fiction, with all of us, your humble hosts, Chin, Jija, Nui, and Jenny.
We will explore the American serial killer and rapist. Ted Bundy was one of the most notorious criminals of the late 20th century in this episode.
The final lawyer said, the very definition of hellish evil.
Let's dig his history together. Ted Bundy described himself as the most cold-hearted son of a bitch you will ever meet. His crimes couldn't prove that statement, too. In 1974, police in Pacific Northwest were in a fear. Women escorted across Washington and Oregon were disappearing. In just 6 months, 6 women have been kidnapped. Panic in the area reached fever pitch when Janet Ann Ord and Dennis Maria Nashran disappeared in daylight from a cow beach at Lake Sammamish State Park. On the same day as Ord and Nashran vanished, many women remember one man who tried to flirt with them with his car. They told the authority about an attractive young man with his arm in sling. His vehicle was a brown Volkswagen Beetle, and the name he gave them was Ted. For people who identified the same guy, Ted Bundy, but the police dismissed Ted from suspects because he was a law student with no adult criminal record. So, this made him free with his murderous career and take at least 30 victims across 7 states in the 1970s.
Ted Bundy's childhood. Ted Bundy was born on November 24, 1946 in Vermont. He grew up by grandparents, and Ted, in 10 years old, know that his mother was run away to marry with a hospital cook, who gave him the last name, Johnny Bundy. So, he felt angry and never forgave his mother. Ted was a handsome man, gentle, and smart. He got a scholarship from the University of Puget Sound, a psychology major, and decided to go to study at the University of Washington and graduate with a bachelor's degree in psychology in 1972. He fell in love with Diane Edwards, or commonly known by the city name, Stephanie Brooks, the woman who had everything he wanted. She was beautiful, wealthy, intelligent, and has a nice family. However, they have broken up finally. Ted was sad, so he tried to improve himself for her and joined the campaign of the Washington State Republican Party. As a working handsome man and knowledgeable, he was expected from the members of the Republican Party to become the politician. Then he worked as an assistant to the chairman of the state's Republican Party and was on trips with the organization and dating with Diane Edwards again.
Ted Bundy's first murder across Seattle. Ted Bundy's first murder was a female student named Linda Ann Haley. He broke into her room in the morning at her apartment. He knocked, attacked, until she lost consciousness, and caught her body and carried her out to his car. Since then, no one can see Linda Ann Haley again. But many years later, there was found her school near the location that Bundy used to lead. After that, he looked for the next victim, a female student in the neighborhood. By using new methods of picking right, he unable to do something or help him to pick things to his car. He then hit the victim's head with a baton before the victim realized it. Then he raped the young woman and dumped the body. He also returned to the left corpses again, cut school, and brought them back to his apartment, a reward of his pressure, sleeping beside his trophies. From his said, "Murder is not just a crime of rage or violence," he explained. It becomes a possession. They are part of you.
In the home, that basically I was a normal person.
The victim becomes a part of you, and you two are forever one. And the grounds where you kill them or rape them to become sacred to you, and you will always be bound back to them. Within 5 months, he raped and killed the other 5 students female in the Pacific Northwest: Donna Gail Manson, Susan Erin Rancott, Roberta Kathleen Park, Brenda Carol Ball, and Joanne Hawkins.
For continuation investigation, the police led the case to find the murder for the fairness of victims. One of agency was the Washington State Department of Emergency Services, where Bundy was relocated to Utah and arrested for kidnapping. The time to find the murder, their witnesses identified and described that matched Ted Bundy, and described with the same details, and they discovered a body that was found in the forest where Bundy was accepted to law school in Utah and moved to Salt Lake City. There was now a mounting pile of evidence pointing toward Ted Bundy, but he still hungers. Finally, in August 1975, Bundy was caught while driving in his car through a Salt Lake City suburb. Police discovered match, handcuffs, and blunt objects in the car, but not enough evidence to catch him. That he was released. The officer then found his video, which he had since sold, where they discovered hair matching 3 of his victims. With this evidence that puts him to the jail with convict of kidnapping and assault.
Ted Bundy escaped jail in Aspen. Shortly after being arrested, he was about to come out for the second time in his life. The first occurred in 1977. He escaped from the road robbery at the court in Aspen, which at that time was a break in the tail, making him an opportunity to escape. He jumped from the second-floor window of the library and planned to travel to Aspen Mountain and steal a car to escape. But it was not possible for him to be successful, as less after 6 days of fleeing the Chi Omega murders at Florida State. 6 months later, he escaped from jail. This time, he was studying the map in prison very well, with his cell under the guard's living room. He exchanged with another inmate, which is a sower. He saw the ceiling every day, while his roommate did other activities. After that, he proceeded to lose weight to make himself thinner, because the area that he will use to escape is very small. And this time, he has spent well with a woman named Cora Ann Bone smuggling money for him. When everything was ready, he punched a hole and crawled out. When he found that no one, he changed his clothes and walked out through the front door, as if nothing happened.
This time, he didn't wait. He immediately leaves the car and leaving the city, traveling to Florida. But when he got there, he couldn't find a job, causing him to go back to grifting and steal money. On January 15, 1978, 2 weeks after his escape, Bundy broke into the Chi Omega sorority house on the Florida State University campus. In just 15 minutes, he raped and killed Margaret Bauman and Lisa Levy, bludgeoning them with firewood and striking them with stockings. He then assaulted Katie Kreiner and Karen Chandler. Both suffered horrific injuries, including broken jaws and missing teeth. He then broke into the apartment of Sharon Thomas, who lived several blocks away, and beat her so badly she lost her hearing permanently. Later, on February 8th, he kidnapped Kimberly Diane Lynch from her middle school and murdered her, concealing her body on the pig farm. He then drives madly, making the focus on the police. When they realized that his plane belonged on a stolen car, they pulled him over and found the IDs of 3 dead women in his vehicle. "I wish you had killed me," Bundy told the arresting officer.
Trials and execution. During trials, Bundy taking charge of his own defense. Bundy was ultimately convicted and placed on death row at Florida's Rayford prison, where he suffered abuse from the other prisoners, including a gang rape by foremen, some resources there, and conceived a child with Carlo and Ruth, whom he would marry while he was on trial. Bundy was finally executed by electric chair on January 24, 1989. Hundreds of people celebrated his death. However, he confessed to many murders before his death. The correct number of Bundy's victims remains unknown. Bundy rejected some killings, even some physical evidence tying him to do the crimes, and blaming to others that were never verified. In the end, all of this making him one of the most infamous and terrifying serial killers in American history, and perhaps the very definition of heartless evil.
And part of the shock and horror for my dear friends and family years ago when I was first arrested was that there was no clue.
Before we go, let's have a look for all the vocabulary in this episode.
Assault, assault, arresting, arresting, assistant, assistant, bachelor, bachelor, beetle, beetle, broke up, broke up, chairman, chairman, campaign, campaign, crawl, crawl, conceal, conceal, expect, expect, gentle, gentle, horrific, horrific, intelligent, intelligent, injury, injury, inmate, inmate, investigation, investigation, kidnap, kidnap, knowledgeable, knowledgeable, murder, murder, politician, politician, psychology, psychology, pseudonym, pseudonym, Republican Party, Republican Party, release, release, skull, skull, sad, sad, stocking, stocking, smuggling, smuggling, strangling, strangling.
So, end of this episode 2. Next, who's love candy?
The next episode will be present to you soon. Stay tuned!